Hello, everyone. We have a couple minutes until our next session, but I just wanted to do a little house cleaning for you, just kind of throw some information out to you. Obviously, we have our expo hall has started, so hopefully you've been out on the floor. If you haven't, please get out there, check out the technology that people are showcasing. There's really amazing work out there. Also, a quick reminder that there are events throughout the rest of the facility. We have the Snap Lounge. We also have the Niantic Lounge. We have the Augie Awards, which is at 7 p.m. tonight. And of course, there is the official AWE after party tonight at 8 p.m. to 11 at the Hilton Santa Clara. And of course, being that it's lunchtime, there's food throughout the facility. So please make your way and get those credit cards out. So. Gold sponsors are Ant Reality, Arbor XR, HoloLight, Lenovo, Sightful, Zapar. We also have Titanium sponsors, which is Magic Leap, Niantic, Qualcomm, Snap AR, and XReal. Of course, we also have tomorrow, day 3 of AWE, and I hope everyone is having a great time. So that brings us up to our next presenters. This is a really interesting topic, and I'm really glad that people are starting to come in and check this out because I know looking at it and looking at the preview, there's a lot of work in this happening here, and what our two presenters are going to talk about is that work and how it is impacting people. This session is called Enhancing Vision with Lynx, the Future of Assistive Technology for Low Vision. So I'm going to invite Chris McNally and Stan Larroque up to the stage, and welcome. Please welcome.
Good afternoon. Well, I am very excited to be here. I'm Chris McNally from iMcNally, and I'm here with Stan Larroque from Lynx. And I'm really looking forward to telling you all the story of the experience I had when I visited the Lynx offices. I'm going to tell you about my story, but I know a lot of you are probably already working on this topic of low vision and blindness, and I feel that telling my story, showing you how I see, showing you what works for me, and telling you that I am a subset of the community. There's a lot of different ways that people see, and the technologies I see here at AWE and I see you all working on is just amazing, and it's all going to be useful for people with low vision and blindness. And Stan's going to make sure I'm holding this the right way. Okay. So let's start with what was an amazing experience for me, being able to visit Stan and Lynx at their offices at the end of last year. And it was very similar to this room, their offices to me. It was medium to dimly lit. And so when I walked in the offices, it's just like here. I can't see anybody I can't see any chairs, or can't see this podium or this clicker. And I get my way across the room and sit down, even having difficulty getting into an office chair, figuring out what the orientation is and being able to sit down. And I, put on the Lynx, and it was the most amazing experience because I had been looking for decades. For decades, I've been dreaming about it. For 10 years, I've been looking for a device that when I put it on, I actually see better than I do with my own eyes. And there's a million reasons why devices work for me or don't, brightness, contrast, a lot of things. But all the devices were balancing technology, as we've all seen in this space, and none of them were able to push full human vision past human vision as they balanced what they were trying to do with their technology. But the Lynx was the first one. I put it on, and it was weird because for the first time, I'm looking at Stan, who I had been talking to, and I realized I'd never seen his expressions. I didn't see when he was smiling or when he was talking. I couldn't see what was happening. And I was able to put down my cane, get up, walk around the room, avoid tables, chairs, pick up objects on the table. The transformation was amazing. I mean, it was an incredible experience. First time in my life being able to see. So to give you a little show of that, I want to show you first how it is to see as me, and then show you what it's like to wear the Lynx. So my vision can be broken down into like 4 elements, make it up. The first one is color blindness, called trinitopia, and it's also called blue-yellow color blindness. And so I have this example up here. On the left side, you should see a beautiful set of flowers, beautiful lush greenery in the background. On the right side, you see how I see the same image. The really interesting thing is, because they've aligned the colors on the right side to be what I see, I actually see the same thing on the left and the right. Both images look exactly the same to me. I'm told that the colors are muted and shifted, that the greenery, which is the only thing in my life I've ever seen as lush greenery, because people told me that's what it was, I hear is like bluish gray, lifeless looking, which is fascinating to me, that's what I'm seeing versus what other people are seeing. For the next 3 elements of my vision, I'm going to use this picture of a hallway in a mall. There are tables and chairs on the sides. There's a menu sign down the bottom. These menu signs and the signs they set up when they mop the floors are the nemesis of all people who are low vision and blind, because they're always stuck right in the walkway where you want to be traveling. And so I'm always knocking those over. So the first thing that happens to my vision is that because of the cells that are on my retina that have perished, I get like a salt and pepper heather pattern of dots over everything. And this really can diminish the contrast, the edges, the ability to see what things are, and really just muddles the view a lot. The next element is dimming. Everything is just so much dimmer for me than it is for full vision. Out in the lobby where there's indirect sunlight, it's very bright, like this picture in the mall. It's very, very well lit environment. I probably see about 40% just with dimming alone, and then the dots on top of that and other elements. So it really kind of piles on to limit the amount of mobility and seeing what things are really there and being able to operate within it. The last element is they refer to as the donuts. It's the fact that my vision is split into 3 sections. I get tunnel vision in the center, which is where my best vision is, and then in the mid-peripheral, I have no vision, and then outside the donut, I have some peripheral vision. So when you combine those all together, you get what this looked like on the left and what I see it as on the right, and this is in a well-lit environment. Like, in this environment, I'm not even getting the dots and the donut and the dots and the dimming and elements. It's just nothing. What I found works for me. So 10 years ago, I realized that when I look through my cell phone, you could all try this because this building is very dimly lit. You could try it in any of the hallways, any of the rooms. If you take your cell phone and your smartphone and turn the brightness up all the way, and it's a smartphone from the last couple of years, it will see better, probably better than you even see with your own eyes, but you'll notice that it makes the scene brighter and easier to see details and colors. And for me, it has an amazing effect. Looking at a scene that's dimly lit, looking at it through my cell phone, it's night and day. If I had my cell phone now, I would be able to see all of you, see the chairs. It wouldn't be the same quality as your vision, but it would be functional, which is huge for me. So then I thought to myself 10 years ago, how hard could it really be to put this into glasses? As we all know, as we've been hearing at AWE, it's a very challenging task to take the vision of the world and put it into glasses that people can just wear. I really feel like the 10 years were a bit of a drought, but I really feel like starting last year, with meeting Stan and Lynx and seeing everybody here at AWE and all the work that's going on to move this whole industry forward, I really feel like we are now on a track where we're going to get to that point where I'll be able to put on a pair of glasses and have my best vision possible and be functional with that vision. And then eventually we'll be able to add haptics and spatial audio and all the other things to enhance it. So putting that all together, in today, I have a device in Lynx that has the brightness, the contrast, which I knew I wanted, and I put it on and I can see better than I can see with my eyes alone. But then I learned about things I didn't know I needed, like the stereo view aligned with reality. I always thought that I would end up with an AR device looking like a TV's hanging out in front of me and it would have a better view of the world than I had. Then when pass-through came, I thought, it might be something that sees just a little better than me. But now with the Lynx being, I get depth, I get scale, I can reach out and pick up objects with it, and where the device ends, the field of view of the device ends, what I have for peripheral vision picks up. So it is, after wearing it for a couple of minutes, I actually forget that I'm wearing it. I just see better than I do usually, which is amazing. And what I think is so exciting about AWE is that there's millions of people in the US and millions of people in the world that could benefit from this. And a lot of the technology that's going on here will be able to be applied to what their needs are for low vision. So quick overview, this is how I perceive parts of this building, with my vision, or this view with my vision, dimming dots. And this is how I perceive it with the Lynx. It is literally the difference between non-functional, can't really walk around, versus being able to see. And to me, that's just amazing. And I would love to get this concept out to as many people as possible that could benefit from it. So to talk about the technology, we have Stan.
Yeah, hi. I'm glad that Chris could tell you his story. I'm not sure that you're seeing here, but he has a white cane with him. And when he arrived in Paris in my office, I really couldn't see or I could help him, really. But it was, I think, a transformative experience for myself and my engineering team that, in our field, in AR and VR today, we see billions of investments every month from big companies and also startups like Lynx, putting a lot of effort to push forward pass-through crazy lenses that end up in this kind of headset today. And I really discovered with Chris the low vision world, which is something that didn't have really enough attention. And I believe that all the billions invested in AR and VR today, we are going to see side effects to those investments. And one of the first side effects I discovered was when Chris entered my office and really saw for the first time with Lynx. We did not engineer our device for that. It was never part of our story. It is a true, discovered side effect of the progress we're making in those technology, in the camera, in the display, in the lenses. Everything is getting better to a point where it benefits clinically blind people. So the pass-through architecture allows us to control every photon that gets into your retina. So what we're doing at Lynx is we're boosting a lot of the brightness that you're seeing from the external world. You tried the Quest Pro and other headsets as well, and maybe you might have a comment there about the difference.
Yeah, I think the big difference, what I'm finding, is it appears for me the minimum nits to the eye that makes it so I can see is 400. And even though the form factor of pancake lenses and a lot of this technology can make glasses look sleek, it's not enough. So when I look through those glasses, I don't see any better than I see with my own eyes. Yeah.
So one of the exciting things that you're going to see in the next few months, there are like 10 headsets that will come out in the next few months that are pass-through headsets, just like Lynx or the Apple headset or the Quest Pro. And most of those companies are focusing on trying to mimic reality as best as we can, which is, I think, the first goal we want to attain with those headsets. But when we met Chris and we discussed with my team, we asked ourselves, why stop there? Why stop at just mimicking reality? Can we see things we cannot see? So we can enhance the life of low vision people by just mimicking reality. But even for people that have perfect vision, I'm still young, I still have 20/20 vision, but we have tried things at Lynx where you could see wavelengths with a headset that you cannot see in real life. One of the cool things we're trying is that with a headset like that, you can see Wi-Fi signal around you, for example. You can see things that are not visible to the human eye. It's very easy to swap a camera. So for defense application, we can show thermal information. We can show infrared band in the close to the human vision or far if you want to see at night. We made a headset for firefighters. I'm going to give you a straight example of what we've been building to really give people superpowers. We put HDR cameras in front of the headset. HDR camera, not in the HDR smartphone way. I'm going to explain it to you. The human eye is doing HDR all the time with around 120 dB. And a smartphone is doing HDR at around between 65 and 70 dB. That's what they call HDR. So even when you have a HDR camera on a smartphone, it's not as good as the eye to see something very bright and something very dark. And you see that when you take photos, and it's not exactly as bright as you can imagine. But there are cameras that are coming out that are 140 dB HDR. So they have a better contrast ratio of the real world. And we put that in a headset for firefighters. So now they were able to see through fires, smoke, explosives, and stuff you couldn't decipher with your naked eye. So this is where I think mixed reality is really promising, is that we are going to see a huge boom on all those side effects. Starting from the low vision end of the spectrum all the way to specific application where you need to see beyond what you can see. And we are working very hard at Lynx to make that a reality. It's a lot of investment, but when we see the story of Chris, it's worth a lot. It's precious also for the team to find motivations like that. It's not every day that you bring back vision to someone, right? So I'm really happy for this collaboration. When we put the word out there, we saw more and more people flying to our office because they couldn't believe that. And I have this funny example of an entrepreneur in Israel, and his wife has the same kind of low vision problem that you have. And he heard about our story, and he flew with his wife to Paris, just like you did from Boston. And his wife she has a different donut vision. She sees more in the peripheral than in the center, but it's the same principle. And she was able to see her husband for the first time.
Wow.
So she, with the Lynx device, she got up close to her husband and say, "Oh, but you have wrinkles here." So he said, "Oh, yeah, put it away." But it's not really about return on investment or market reality. It's way beyond that. It's in the same vein of the progress we are doing with surgeons and training medical staff. I think there is a huge market. There is business to be done there, but the motivation is way beyond that for us. So I'm happy that we can tell this story now. If you want to try the headset for yourself, there are some of them at the Ultralib booth on the AWE show floor. So yeah, I think that's it for me.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody. We'll take questions if you have any questions.
Yes, if you have a question, just raise your hand and I can give you the mic.
There are no hands up there.
No hands.
No, we have one in the back. Hold on.
Hi, maybe I missed it, but are you making, like, adding magnification to the image or making it brighter, or?
So there are different things at play. The first thing is that our lens system is not working like a pancake lens. You don't lose a lot of light or contrast. With a pancake lens, you start with 100 nits, and to the eye, you just get around 10 nits. In our system, you get almost everything from the display. So to give you a quick comparison, in the Quest Pro, you get 100 nits in your eye. In Lynx, you get 450 nits, something like that. So it's more the image, either it's virtual or mixed reality view, it seems more brighter and with more contrast. And then on the camera side of things, we're boosting the brightness of the real world image. So a lot of people are telling us, oh, your pass-through is so much better than the Quest Pro. The truth is we're using almost the same sensors. There is no real magic there. I mean, we have way less latency, but we're just tricking your eye by boosting the colors you see. So this is why it feels more, popping and real, and it works well for low vision people.
I'd like to add to your question, because I'm not sure if this is what you're getting at too, but it made me realize that I was really looking at this talk as the foundation, and then in the future all this is going to move forward. But your question just makes me want to mention that using development tools, like I use Unity, for instance, and with OpenCV or whatever, AI, taking this base, part of my problem was I always wanted these glasses that would let me see, and none of the glasses would let me see. Now that I have a headset that lets me see, now all that possibility of highlight the edges, flash something if it's stairs and you're going to trip, or there's a tripping hazard. There's just so many things that can be done now that the device can see so much better than I can, and let me see with the best of my vision. So it's amazing. You get some of it from the device and some of you get from the software.
Thanks, yeah, that's pretty exciting. Have you guys tried some of that stuff, like edge, highlighting edges or whatever?
So Chris is going to actually start working, I think, tonight, because he just got a device on his own from us. We are distributing samples like Unity scenes for free with like a OpenCV plugin you can work on by grabbing the RGB frames of the headset. We develop a specific pipeline where not only you can grab the frames of the headset, which is new, by the way. You have to realize that most of all, or even all the other headsets on the market don't let you access the frames and the raw data of the sensors. So we develop a specific pipeline where not only you can grab them, but by grabbing them, you won't add any latency to the view, which is very complicated, and we only had this breakthrough 2 months ago. So it's pretty new. And by grabbing the frame, then you can process with OpenCV, Vuforia, all that software that will be used to detect the corners of tables and stuff like that.
And I'll just add that I've been doing Unity for like 10 years and OpenCV, and they're great tools, and I've been using them on my phone, and that's why I thought I was going to have a flat display where the edges are highlighted. And so walking into a situation, I have a better sense of what's coming, but I don't really see it. With the Lynx, everything is aligned with reality, so you can't tell you're not looking through your own eyes. Everything is exactly where you expect it is. You can reach out and touch a single point. And once you then take that, I can't wait to do what Stan's saying, which you take that and add Unity and OpenCV and YOLO and AI and all these things, now you could have a AI virtual assistant that is seeing better than you're seeing and explaining to you or showing you, how to walk around. That's going to be amazing.
And for free, like most of these algorithms are free today. So it's a huge boost, compared to like the tools that the low vision people had before. That is stuck between the 70s and the 90s. Like single-use devices that are still a bit bulky. So our headset is bulky too, but you can do so much with it to boost your vision, if I would say.
Yeah, pretty exciting.
Thank you.
We have a couple more questions. Hold on.
Hi, you were mentioning for the future spatial audio and haptics. So grabbing the frames would allow also to activate the things as superpowers, or
That's a great idea.
am I dreaming?
Yeah, well, we're not developing accessories ourselves, like haptic gloves or vest or stuff like that. But, you know, I'm from the software world, and I was really tired of seeing all those closed ecosystems. And when we built Lynx, we wanted to be as open as possible. So right now, what we're seeing is that there are like dozens of companies making accessories like haptic gloves coming to us, and they can plug very easily onto our system. Lynx is basically an AOSP, you know, Android 12 device with OpenXR conformant runtime. So what we saw recently is that a lot of gloves and, you know, those controller companies, they can plug very easily onto our system. So I expect in the coming months, as we roll out our devices out there, like in just like 3 weeks from now, we'll see more and more accessories and like an ecosystem coming around.
Okay, we have one last question.
You mentioned about the low latency. Like, what kind of latency are you seeing?
Yeah.
And also, wearing it long, do you have the dizzy effect? Because that's quite common with see-through.
Yeah. So I think that's one of the true innovation we're bringing with this headset. Well, first, when you look at it, you notice that it's open on the side. So, you know, when you put it on, you're not blocked on the peripheral vision. I can see you directly from here. And on the peripheral vision, this is where you get movement, speed, and this is where you see danger too. So the fact that you can open the headset on the side is a first thing. Then latency, your question about latency is good. I can give you the numbers. I can give you the numbers of the competition. Our numbers is that the photon to photon, which is the time a photon hit our camera until it gets reprojected onto your eye, is around between 15 and 20 milliseconds. It will get better. It's twice better than the best headsets that I won't name that is out there. I can show you the graph. It's kind of boring, but I can tell you that I was able to ski with my headset, you know, by wearing it on the pass-through mode. And if you had too much latency, you die very quickly doing that. So I think we're at this point where we solved the latency problem. And you know, I'm happy to answer about the number, but in all our customers, after a demo, no one is asking the latency number. And you know, it's a way, you know, for us to see that we kind of solved that. Because before, you know, when I started like 4 or 5 years ago, latency was terrible. We didn't have the right pipeline. We didn't have all of that. And people were, oh, is it 100 millisecond latency, 200? Now that it's down to 20, people, you know, I never encountered this question, even at AWE or those kind of shows. And you know, I think in the future, with headsets having better displays and cameras, we will start to stop actually discussing about resolution, even field of view, and latency. You know, Apple is probably coming out on Monday. I'm pretty sure they won't even talk about the resolution. I mean, you won't. You know, now when they put out an iPhone, you don't know how much RAM there is in your iPhone. They just remove that spec because it's solved. And the same is happening with latency in mixed reality, I think.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.
Thank you very much.
It. Great session. And again, if anybody has more questions, please find them. They're out on the floor, and they're open to hear what you think.
Thank you.